Hello again.
Hello.
Well, today on our cruise was Naples, a city that neither of us had been to before.
No.
I think it was an interesting experience. We did another food tour, like similar to what we did in Barcelona. This one I kind of felt was more on the historic side. Our guide Aldo, we went several different places, and we'll put up some of the pictures of the food we had. But he also did a wonderful job explaining the history of the city.
Our upstairs neighbors are moving furniture.
Sorry, that's part of being on the show.
Yes.
But what did you think about it?
What did I think about it? I thought it was amazing. Again, there is just something to be said about going to discover a new place with someone you really care about. And I just want to thank you for planning this food tour, because it wasn't through Norwegian Cruise Line what we did. He looked it up and did extensive research. We wound up on this tour with 7 other people that are from our boat, all from Boston. And they were just an amazing family that we were with. But our guide Aldo, like he said, talked about a lot of the historic stuff that went along with it. Tasting the food and going through neighborhoods, it's just a way to share culture. I don't know, just in a way
it's a way to be immersed, I think.
It really is.
Both the history of the town, and the food really tells a story about who has come to the town and how it's changed over time.
Yeah.
In this case, it's a city, but yes, I would agree. Yeah, and one thing about booking something off the cruise line, it makes a lot of sense to do that if it's kind of low risk. So this one was, the nice thing about the port here is the old town and the historical sites were really literally right when you got off the boat, within
Correct.
a couple kilometers. But if it's further away in a town where you don't speak the language or really know how to get around, that might be something you might hesitate a little bit more on.
Right.
When you have a big trip. But this one worked out great. So
I agree. I think that you have to be very mindful of onboard times for your boat. I think you have to be mindful of where you are. As Aldo told us, when you got off of the boat in Naples, up until the early 90s, there was a portion of the city that was right there that was, for lack of a better word, mafia run.
it's called the Spanish Quarter.
But it was not safe for pretty much anybody unless you were protected by the mafia to be in. But that has changed due to people like him who are actually, this was his hometown. So taking people in, showing them the beauty that's there, eating in the places where it tastes like the grandma and the family cooked for you. It was a real family feel. And he's going to put up some of the awesome pictures.
Yeah,
that,
and of course we had pizza. We had a couple other things too. We had a wonderful pastry, which do you remember the name of that? We'll have to look it up and put it underneath the picture of it. I think we
Sofrancin.
Yeah, it was a cream-filled, almost looks like a croissant, but it's a little, much more dense.
It's very akin to an elephant ear.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, elephant ear.
I think that's correct, yes. Yeah.
I think it's what it is, some type of pasta that's actually more like a puff pastry that's filled. This was like a citrus cream that was put in the inside of it. It was absolutely incredible. This is close to the Amalfi Coast, so they're known for everything lemons. Limoncello was there today. So we really enjoyed our day walking around. We got up early. We were one of the first people off the boat, and we just went exploring. We had some ideas of some of the sites. But some of you may be asking, well, you're telling us about all this, but you're not actually taking us with you, showing you. We do have a gimbal that we could be carrying you around, but here's something that I kind of thought about before we did it, and I'm actually really glad. I do not want to be in a place that I have not been before, with a camera held out in front of me and my head not on a swivel looking around to see what's going on. Most everything that you'll encounter when you go into Europe or you go somewhere else is very, very benign. But you absolutely never know what's going to happen to you or around you, and you need to have your head on a swivel. So we prefer to take stills and then put them in and kind of recap our day.
Especially like Naples. One thing, if you're in that Spanish Quarter or even around the streets, everybody's on a motorcycle and they'll come right up and run you over if you're not paying attention. And the Spanish Quarter is a big incline. You could really get a good workout if you keep going up and down.
Literally, it would be the best cross-country workout that we could give our cross-country runners ever. It was, even to walk up it, I had my Garmin watch on. I think my Garmin watch said 6.3 miles that we walked around today. So it was a lot of walking, but it was totally worth it. But a lot of that was straight uphill. They do have funiculars, which if you're familiar with some of the older songs, Aldo was telling us, funiculi, funicula, which my grandma used to sing all the time. That's actually about the cables and the cars that will go all the way up, because there's so many hills along.
Yeah, and I guess, and he gave a little more history. That was about the one that used to exist to go to Mount Vesuvius, but it got the last time in 1940, I think he said.
Yes.
When it erupted, it
wait till you see the
but
pictures.
They do have another one now that kind of takes you up to the top of the hill.
Yes.
I
had no idea, and I don't know why I didn't even think about this, but we literally parked right next to Mount Vesuvius. I was like, but again, it's still an active volcano, and everybody that lives there, if you live, people are living right next to the top of Mount Vesuvius. So that kind of was a metaphor for me in my mind about taking risks and living your life and living out the things that you want to do. And we had this discussion. We had a beautiful dinner just now. We went to the Trattoria on board here. It's called Moderno. And for those of you that are in our area back in the Northern Virginia, D.C. area, it's akin to Fogo de Chao or Tejas de Brazil. Meat sweat, because you get a lot
big
of
belly,
meat.
big belly.
We're full. But it's delicious. But, I think that taking those risks, when we were talking at dinner, we recognize that cruising and doing something similar to this is a very easy entry point into seeing things in the world that you might want to see. You are not committed to one location for more than 24, maybe sometimes cruises stay for 48 hours. You're not committed to a location, so if you love it, you get a taste of it and you're like, I need to come back there for a week. Or if you're like, I don't prefer it, you never have to go back there again. You're not in a hotel there. Your items, your belongings, your everything is all in one spot. You're not handing over your wallet and your credit card and your cash for a meal every time, because it's all included here in the boat. Our neighbors are really moving some furniture here.
They're working hard.
They're working hard.
And there's also the safety aspect where you do have care on board, and then of course you're not dealing with language barriers all day trying to get around, so you have that plus on board as well.
Yes. If I had to rank the cities that we have visited, I would have to say that Naples right now is the most favorite place that I've visited so far on this trip. I was pleasantly surprised. Not tonight when we had the beautiful Trattoria dinner, but last night we were sitting next to a couple here on a boat, and I do want to caution people, when you meet folks on a cruise, everybody is on vacation and you just meet people randomly. Sometimes you stay in touch with them, sometimes you don't. But we were sitting next to a very lovely couple, but they had not had a very good day, it seemed, and there was a lot of negativity coming off of the table. Part of it was about the food on this cruise. However, I think it's been fine.
Yeah, I think our big thing was about food allergies,
Yes.
which luckily neither of us need to deal with.
Correct. I can go into the food allergy situation in a minute, because I have suggestions. Being a chef, I have some suggestions for people who might be dealing with that if they go on a cruise. But they just were just downing Naples, like, oh, we've heard it's just trashy and it's very scary and you need to watch your back. And I was like getting that into my head for some reason. I had heard nothing about that before. I didn't know these people from anything, but I was letting them get into my head. And so I will say this, we were fine. I never once.
No, it was
felt
no different than, actually it was less than Rome, because we did have
Yes.
some scammers that we saw in Rome, which we didn't see at all in Naples. And
Yes.
I mean, Rome and Naples are very different than Corsica. I mean, that's more of a beach town. So the
Yes.
feel, I mean, it's almost hard to compare that and Rome and Naples. But I like you said, I prefer Naples to Rome.
Yes.
Um,
And you said you preferred Barcelona to everything so far.
I liked overall the food tour in Barcelona better. There was less history on that. She didn't go through that, but I mean the quantity of food and drink that they gave and you try, that was outstanding there. I mean, we must have eaten 12 to 14 different food items and had 5 to 7 different drinks. So that was truly outstanding.
It was quite good.
Yeah.
I would recommend it. What was the name of that food tour company?
This one was Eating Europe. I'll
This
have to
one
look. I'll
was Eating
have to
Europe.
add that on a summary because I don't
Yeah.
remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, so this one today in Naples was Eating Europe, and our tour guide was Aldo. And highly recommend, because they go through everything. And I mean, he lives here. So this is where he grew up. So he was really able to show us a lot of good stuff. But do not let other people's experiences cloud your outlook on what you're going to be
Yeah,
doing.
evaluate it yourself. Absolutely.
Truthfully.
Yeah, I mean, we I guess they're both having some supply chain problems of what
Oh.
of that we don't like to
He
drink a
hasn't-
lot of alcohol and a lot of other sugary drinks. So outside of a bar or two, they're out of diet soda, which and we have the
Every-
beverage package.
Diet soda.
Yeah.
It's an SOS. Save our sodas,
Yeah,
people.
they have plenty of the
We're
full
in that
calorie stuff, but
situation. I don't want that.
Yeah.
It tastes terrible to me.
So, but we made it through today, all right. But it's something that it's not a big deal, but it illustrates all the supply chain problems that are going on today.
It truly is. And I typically, my drink of choice, non-alcoholic, I don't deal well with a lot of extreme heat with any alcohol in my body. It really isn't good, just me personally. But clearly, if you enjoy a beverage, they have a lot of different things. But my drink of choice, I usually make a non-alcoholic cocktail of Sprite Zero with a little cranberry juice in it. And that's what I do on cruise ships. And
Yeah, they haven't had that at all. Well,
not Sprite Zero.
yeah, they're Pepsi here, so that would be Sierra Miss Zero. And you keep asking them to say, oh, maybe the next port, and then they're like, oh, well, we really haven't had that in a month and a
I
half.
think I've heard tomorrow for the last 3.5 days.
So it's not going to happen because they stock up in both Barcelona and Rome. The other ports aren't stocking ports, so.
Thankfully,
Yeah.
I discovered the magic of espresso, and today Aldo showed us something that
It was a barley drink.
it's
that-
barley,
Yeah.
and it's like a malted. And when you think of barley, you think of beer. Well, this isn't fermented; it's non-alcoholic. But if you're traveling and you're expecting, I am not expecting. I'm way too old for that. Okay, can we just go that route? I'm not. But Aldo has a younger daughter. And he was like, oh, this is the best if you're not wanting to have all that caffeine jolt, but you want to have this, and it's really good for you, and it's vitamins, and we give it to our children. It's barley, and it actually tastes like a really delicious coffee. And I'm not even a coffee drinker, and I enjoyed this.
I didn't particularly care for it, but I mean, I don't particularly care for coffee at all either. So
I don't know. I got him to eat tiramisu the other day, so that's a good thing. But, you never know what you're going to be dealing with on this. I'm a little worried about the caffeine situation tomorrow if we have no diet sodas, but
there is
stay tuned.
there is
SOS.
tea on board,
Save our sodas.
which may not have a lot of caffeine, but I don't
I'm
know.
going to be brewing my own tea up in here. I'm going to be making hot tea and then putting it over ice. That's what I'm going to do.
That's the plan.
It's fine. It's a minor issue.
Yeah.
But getting back to food allergies. So, we have encountered two folks in the last 2 days
Yep.
with two very different attitudes about traveling while having a pretty distinct and severe food allergy. The person that was at the table next to us last night that kind of had maybe a more negative down look on, or down look
Yeah.
on what was going on, was very frustrated because she felt that they did not have the information that she needed to make sure that she didn't have, I think it was onion?
Onion and alcohol. Which is,
Onion and alcohol. She's allergic to all of that. So she didn't feel like they were as forthcoming with what was in things as what she needed. Valid point.
yeah.
I would suggest this before I get to the second case. I would suggest if this is something that you're going to be dealing with, many people that I've encountered in my culinary classes, many people that I work with, many people have food sensitivities and food allergies. I would, before you go, try to contact the cruise line, whether it's Norwegian or somewhere else, and let them know. I have X, Y, and Z sensitivities and allergies. Can you alert the people on the boat, the chefs and their staff? This is me, I'm coming, and this is what I'm doing. And maybe they can provide me with a list of what I can and can't eat. Do that prior. Follow up when you get on the boat. When you get on any cruise ship, they're going to try to sell you the specialty dining stuff. Their staff, the maitre d', the wait staff, they are all there as you get onto a boat. I think pretty much every boat we
Sure.
go on.
Yeah.
Go right to them. Tell them your name, tell them your stateroom, and tell them, this is my requirements, this is what I can and can't eat. And most boats, even the one we're on right now, allow you to pre-order your food for the next day. They bring you the menu for the next day. I don't think she asked for recipes or ingredients. These are all very standard recipes on cruise ships. They should be able to bring you a recipe and tell you what's in there.
And you probably could have, after you went, prior to getting on board, you could have probably had an idea of what you could and couldn't eat. Because the menus,
Are pretty
anybody who's cruised knows that they keep the 7-day menu all about the same.
Correct.
So if you go on the cruise next week, you're going to get the same menu as we got this week.
Correct.
For the most part. There's rare exceptions.
So what is it, Tuesday?
Today is Wednesday.
I don't even know what day. Wednesday. So next Wednesday on this boat, everybody will probably be offered the exact same food. They know what it is. You just have to advocate for yourself. And when in doubt, just try your best to find somebody that will point you in the right direction, and they will. Today we encountered a young gentleman, the one that was on our food tour. He's just been diagnosed with celiac disease, which, as we know, that includes no gluten whatsoever and a few other items. But they actually made him gluten-free pasta on our tour and pointed him in the direction of things that he could eat and couldn't eat. And that was just a regular food tour.
Right.
You just have to advocate for yourself. Start early with advocating for yourself. Try to have an idea as to, if you're going on a Norwegian ship, what does a Norwegian ship do for their menus? And I guarantee you that if you are kind, not demanding, and you have a positive attitude and you're grateful and thankful, they will make you whatever you need and whatever you want. So I don't know, it just was very poignant to me yesterday, the complaining that was coming off of that. And I just want to make it just very clear, as someone that is in this industry, it's easier for people to work with you if you are kind and you are specific about what it is that you want, and you also understand that there's a lot of people that go into making it, and it's going to take more than 30 seconds sometimes to get you the answer that you might want. So just be patient and kind. You're on vacation. Try to
and
have
if you
fun.
have an exception like that, then try to plan ahead. I mean, that's always,
planning ahead.
I know
is
people
the best
want to
thing
just say,
do.
"Oh, I'm on vacation, I do whatever," but that doesn't always work out.
It doesn't. It doesn't. But anyway, Napoli was very, very good. He'll be putting some of the pictures up. We saw some beautiful and amazing things.
And then tomorrow is Florence, a city we've both been to, and it's one of our favorite cities.
We have not been there together.
Thanks. Yeah. But we will meet tomorrow. And unfortunately, there'll be another long bus ride to get there. It's not that close to the coast. But unlike Rome, we are pretty much going to be dropped off. We're doing the hop on, hop off, which we may or may not use. I think we're just going to try to tool around. Florence, the nice thing about it, is a very walkable city.
Yes.
So we'll probably mainly be walking. Maybe if we want to get to something specific, we in the mood, we'll use the bus as needed. But
Like shopping.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. The last time I was there, I had just graduated from college. I had $0.0. Okay, I had some money. It had just been my birthday. I saved up all the birthday money that I got. I was 21, just turned 22.
Yeah, you're 22.
Because we got married when I was 22. But we had been dating for a little while. And I wanted to get him something. And I wound up getting him a gold chain. I saved up my money and I was able to buy it. And they have leather. I still have the leather coat that I bought there. The prices, I mean, you're not going to be paying $20 for a really nice leather coat, but you're also not going to be paying $300 either. It's pretty reasonable. And it's very, 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 it's handcrafted. It's really good stuff. So I'm excited to do a little bit of shopping. We're going to go see a Duomo.
Yeah.
The Duomo. I don't know. We are.
We have some restaurant ideas.
Yeah, some ideas. Of
And
what
we'll
we're
be
gonna
by the Ponte Vecchio, which is where the
Ponte
shopping
Vecchio.
is, and right over the
do.
water.
Aldo
It's
said
great.
to eat truffles there.
And steak.
And steak.
Although we're not huge steak eaters, so we'll see if we do that or not.
I like
not.
steak.
Maybe she'll have a steak. I don't know.
I like pasta though too.
Yeah.
We had no gelato.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a gelato place, so we'll probably have to do that.
Yeah, I think that's going to
Before we
be on
leave
that. We
Italy.
might be eating
Yeah,
dessert.
I think we've been too full, otherwise to eat gelato.
Every time that it's like almost time to get back on the boat, or when we're thinking about it, we pass a gelato place. It's like, no, we're too full. We can't eat that. So we have to try it. Anyway, well, hopefully, we'll have a decent night. I'm glad to be here and share this experience with you. And hopefully this helps some people to be a little bit more comfortable with cruising. It is, almost 9 o'clock? And
It's
the
about
sun is
8:30
still
now.
not down. This is our balcony. This is one of our favorite places to sit. This is how we wake up every morning. We come out and see which new place we're in. And this is how we go to sleep every night. Although I don't think we're ready to go to bed yet.
No, we'll probably do something, walk around, see what's going on.
Last night it was